Hi, good afternoon. Okay, hi, my name is Don Jessup. I'm the breakthrough guy. I've been here week after week talking to you about confidence, about training, about leadership, about breaking through challenges, and I have a really big concept I want you to wrap your head around today, and it's called confidence. Okay, we know what confidence is, right? It's the ability to do just about anything. It's having a feeling of control and certainty inside you. That's what confidence is. It's having a feeling of control and certainty. Is it working out okay? Okay, good. Got my lovely wife Rachel here with the camera. She's going to turn around in a second and we'll be together, answer some questions as we go along. But first, I want to talk about confidence. I want to give you something that you can take home right now and do right now to be more confident, no matter what that is. Whether that's you with a horse, riding a horse and feeling more confident, or that's you with your business and making more sales, or maybe that's you with your family and taking them to a new place, a higher level of living. I want you to feel confident socially, emotionally, all those things. But how do you get it? How do you get that feeling of certainty, that feeling of control? First, I want to describe there are two types of confidence that you've got to know about. One of those types of confidence is called self-confidence. And what that means is that you, inside you, feel like no matter what happens around you, doesn't matter. Your body's going to adapt. You're mentally going to be quick enough to snap into a different mode, and you're going to be okay. We see a lot of rodeo bronc riders, bull riders with this absolute bravado, like self-confidence. I can do anything. And you watch them train, their bodies are fit. They're ready for anything. And I have a lot of students who say to me, I'm not confident and I want to be more confident. What do I do to get more confident? I say, well, this is one of the things you do to get more confident is you change the shape of your body, literally, the condition that it's in. So it's so quick, it's so ready to respond, ready to react. That's why I stay thin and stay fit. But a lot of people can't do that. They're in a different kind of lifestyle. So I talk about mental confidence, and it's the same basic idea. You can't physically reshape your body, but you can physically reshape your mind, and you can learn to adapt to circumstances like this. But self-confidence doesn't get you everywhere. You know, I don't have the self-confidence that I see a lot of people have that are willing to jump out of an airplane with a parachute on, or they're willing to get on a bull and ride it for 8 seconds. I don't want to do that. I don't have that kind of self-confidence. I don't believe that my body would react quick enough to keep me alive. I could train for it. It's just not something I want to do. So, keeping this in mind, there is a second type of confidence. And that's what we call environmental control. Environmental control confidence. That's you knowing that if you can't adapt quick enough, if you can't move snappy enough, get out of the way, get on top, your body's not like this, self-confident, you have to learn to control the environment. You have to actually set the environment up so that it's safe. Because a lack of confidence is feeling like you're going to get hurt. Whether it's some kind of physical injury or it's some kind of mental or emotional injury as a result of your activities. So I want you to be more confident, but I want you to tackle one, if not both, of these areas. I can tell you from my own perspective that when it comes to riding horses, to breaking colts, I don't like to use that term, it's just it sometimes comes up because it's a traditional term, you know, riding young horses that have never been ridden, starting a new business, getting my pilot's license, all those things didn't have a lot to do with my self-confidence. Now I maintain it. I do a lot of things to maintain it. I do yoga and martial arts and rolling on the floor and making sure that I have a good relationship with the ground because I want to make sure my body will adapt and bounce back and recover. But most of those activities that I love to do have come from environmental control. That means that I've set the environment up for safety. I don't get in the plane without the instructor who's got thousands of hours ahead of me, who I trust could take control if I lose control. Does that make sense? And if you're a rider and you think, oh, I really want to just take myself to the next level as a horse rider, or whatever you want to do, whatever type of confidence you have, or want to have, I'm sorry, you have to set things up so that you will be safe long enough to develop some sense of confidence so that you can take yourself out to the next place. And what that might mean is that you don't leave the round pen, you don't leave the stall. Can you imagine riding your horse in a stall? Well, I've had people do that, and they've been very, very, very successful, and gradually they're able to take that from in the stall out to the round pen, out to the arena, and out to the trail. And it's really critical that you honor that psychological part of your confidence so that you can go and develop more of it. Okay, so I want to turn the phone around and invite Rachel to sit down with me, and we're going to answer a few questions that have popped up over the last couple of weeks during these little live things that we do on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday you can catch us live on Facebook. We talk about a lot of a lot of concepts about leadership and confidence, and we also invite some questions along the way. So if you have any questions, please feel free to join us and ask some questions as we go. If we don't get to them, we'll get to them right away. First, we have...
All right, a lady here says, I dream of jumping my horse, but I've fallen before and I'm terrified. Any advice on continuing toward this goal?
That's a good question, right? She wants to jump. I imagine she's talking about actually jumping with her horse, not jumping over her horse.
Yes.
So I guess that,
I guess that too.
When we're talking about the confidence to jump, she's actually had a fall. She's been injured before from the sounds of it. So thank you for that question. But I want to invite you to think along these same concepts of self-confidence and environmental control confidence. If you feel like you don't have the self-confidence, don't go do it, not yet. Instead, at home where you're safe, start to practice things that change the way you and your body are shaped. And I mean that quite literally. If you're overweight, you've got to lose some weight. And if you can't, if it's too big a stretch to go in that direction, to gain that kind of self-confidence, then go the other direction and get environmental control confidence. And that means that you set up a jump in the arena that's really, really short, really low, and you do that jump, only that jump, over and over and over and over and over and over and over until you are totally set up to be almost bored with that. And then you can take it to the next level. Yes.
You can hear Shona singing in the background.
She's lovely, isn't she? Okay. What else do we have here?
It's another lady. I'm trying to do Pirelli level 4 and struggling to keep my horse cantering for the required amount of time. Please help.
Okay, Pirelli level 4. Most of you guys watching now, and many of you guys who will watch this video later, know what Pirelli is. It's a form of horsemanship, natural horsemanship, and it's kind of like dressage with levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and you advance as you go. In the top levels of Pirelli, you're asked to maintain the canter for a long time, and it's really, really difficult task. And if I'm completely honest, it's taught mostly inappropriately by most of the instructors. I've since gone on to teaching my own methods because they're so much more effective and safer for the rider and for the horse. So, but bottom line is, if you're struggling to get the horse to maintain the canter, first know that that they don't know how to do it. The biggest misconception in all of the horse industry is the horses know what you want. It's like I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, my horse knows everything. I just have to learn how to do it." That is incorrect. The horse has a brain of a 4-year-old child, so they don't know how to maintain the canter. They can canter, and we see them canter, but they don't have the muscle structure and development to do it on their own, not naturally. So we have to develop it in a program, very progressive program. So the way I'd get you to do it is to measure it. Say he canters for 5 steps before he breaks into a trot. Well, celebrate that, and then ask him for 6 before you do another celebration, and you'll slowly go from 5 to 6 to 7, and up you go until you're cantering for 5 minutes, if you like. Really, really simple, very progressive. Thank you for that question.
And just to add to that, some horses do canter naturally very well all by themselves, out in the out and around, and they canter and canter and canter. They're just
Sure.
some horses that are a little shorter than others, meaning they don't like to canter as much by themselves as others.
That's right, and the strategy
To
works
clarify.
the same way. That's right. Thank you.
All right, we have our last question for the night. I want to know the best time to start finesse riding. I've been riding for years now, but everyone's been telling me I'm not ready. What are your thoughts?
Ooh, what are your thoughts? May I ask?
finesse riding?
Finesse riding. When to start finesse riding? Now, to be clear, finesse riding in most people, for most people in the horse industry, means collected riding. It means vertical flexion, shaping the horse, dressage,
knowledge.
high levels of dressage riding, very fancy stuff, trotting in place and that kind of stuff. So, here's my answer to that question. Thank you for that question. My answer is this: start on day 1. Don't wait to start. Yes, you are ready to start. If you can ride a horse, you're ready to start doing finesse. Because finesse isn't about the highest levels of maneuvers. Finesse is about balance first. It's about training relaxation and softness throughout the whole body of the horse, through the whole frame. And when we're starting colts, we're talking about a 3 or a 4 or a 5-year-old horse that's never been ridden before. On day 1, we're asking them to soften their frame and lower their headset and loosen their joints around their neck and their jaw. And that invites so much more progress as we go along. So start finesse today. Just steer away from heavy-handedness. We got to steer away from that really heavy-handed feel where you're hanging onto the horse to try to force the balance. If you can ask for the balance and then sort of loosen and let them feel it and kind of celebrate that balance with them, then you can start today. Start on day 1. Start doing the exercises that you're taught in finesse riding. Just take it slow and be progressive, just like cantering.
Right, and I like to think of finesse as concentration or focus. So for a horse, you don't necessarily, like Don said, have to be doing a piaffe or passage to be doing high-level maneuvers. It may be that you just ask your horse to concentrate and stay connected and pay attention for a period of time. And if you are wanting to do high-level maneuvers, you can do those at the walk without any stress or pressure on you and your horse. Feel it, get them to move around at a slow pace. So you can start straight away. You can even start in a stall. We talked about that earlier. Who would ride in a stall? But for confidence, you may like to start in a stall, and maybe you're just asking your horse, you pick up a little feel and ask them, just like Don was also talking about here, soften in their jaw, just little, how light and soft can they be? So you can start finesse from day 1, yeah.
It's about
Soft feel.
softness and balance first, and down the road, once you have a horse that can walk, trot, and canter really, really easily, no hesitation anymore, none, then we start talking about power and engagement and lateral maneuvers and vertical maneuvers. Those come way, 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 way down the road.
Exuberance.
But finesse starts on day 1. Finesse riding and training starts on
Concentration.
because it's about concentration and balance and suppleness. So that starts on day 1. Anybody who says differently doesn't know mastery horsemanship, and that's what we want to teach you with all these leadership concepts. It goes beyond just the basics. It gets into the mastery level. What makes the masters good at what they do? And that's what we want to share with you. Along the lines of confidence, we've given you 2 basic concepts here, and you can't find any other, by the way. There's thousands of techniques, but there's only 2 strategies. You either build your confidence and your ability to adapt and be flexible, or you change the environment to suit you so that you're comfortable in that environment. those two strategies have thousands of techniques attached to them. There's meditation, there's exercises, you can go to a gym, you can hire a coach. The principal problem is this. You don't need strategy. You need motivation and energy. And where does that energy come from inside you? That's what I want to ask you, is where do you get the energy to tackle a strategy? Does that make sense? I mean, what is holding you back from doing it? So you have the strategy. I want to jump my horse more, like that wonderful question from before. Here's the strategy. Here's the technique. Are you actually going to go do it? Or are you going to hesitate because you feel a lack of energy to go do it? And so what we want to invite you to do is to get more energy. And that comes from everywhere. You can get energy from everywhere, but I want to give you a very specific way that we give people energy, and we call it the voice of power. And we're going to give the voice of power away to you as a trial offer. At least somebody here over the next week will receive that opportunity. I'm going to hand it over to Rachel. She's better at this than me. What do we want you to do?
All right, if you could please send us a message on either Facebook or via email. Tell us why you would like to try the voice of power. And of course, also ask us any questions. We're going to answer questions every week, so please give us your questions.
Yeah, horse questions, life questions. The voice
Any
of power.
questions.
The voice of power, to be really clear, is a life coaching technique that we've developed, and I absolutely know that it will give you the energy you need to go out there and tackle the things that you're afraid of doing. And it's not just about fear, it's about your goals, it's about your dreams, but you've got to have energy to go do that. You have to remember why those things are important to you, and with the right voices in your head, moving you forward, you will be able to accomplish anything. And that's what we want to offer you.
Yeah, and one of the things I love about Voice of Power, so if you don't know what that is, it is a personal audio. So you fill out a form and answer a whole lot of questions, and then we make a soundtrack for you. So it's words affirming you and what you want to do, set to music. And most people who have done something really great, who, you know, the presidents, the top sportsmen, the top whoever, if you go back and look at their story, they had somebody, whether it was a mother, a father, a grandfather, a grandmother, an aunt, an uncle, a friend, a coach, someone to say, you can do it, keep training, go back at it, you can do it, you can make this one small step, you can do it. And everyone's had that behind them to help them to get somewhere. So it's actually, thank you for saying we, but Don came up with this idea. And so this is your little personal cheerleader to say you can do it, to help give you the confidence, the motivation, and the energy to go and achieve anything it is that you want to do. And so we want to give that away because that's part of what we're about. We like to be able to share what we do with others.
And it's not cheap, it's expensive because it's so effective. And when we say give it away, we're giving away a trial offer. We want you to send us a message on Facebook, on email, to say, yeah, I want to try it. Tell us why you want to try it. Why would you like to have something on the other end in some other part of the world guiding you, driving you to have exactly what you want in your life, to give you that energy that you need because you have strategy. And now it's about motivation. Now it's about staying clear. We want to offer that opportunity to you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Remember, just join us on Facebook every Tuesday. Send us messages, send us questions. It can be horse related, it can be life related. We have tons. Jesse, Danson, Pete, everybody, Patty, thank you everybody for joining us. And we will see you again very, very, very soon.
Thank you for sharing
Bye-bye.
with us. Bye-bye.